Guys, so today we are starting with the problem. The problem name is longest valid parenthesis. You might have heard about this problem. And longest valid parenthesis, you have been given a string, right? This is a parenthesis string. Yeah. Now, in this part is valid, so the valid part length is equal to 2. And similarly, the second string, what's the answer for this longest valid parenthesis? In this, I can see the length 4 is valid, right? So you have to return that a maximum length that is valid. So it is equal to 4. So that's what we need to do. We are gonna do this by using a 1D DP array. That's called a vector int and L. It would be something like initialize with 0. What we're gonna do, I is equal to 1. Is it n I plus plus? So basically, this vector is a DP array, 1D DP array, which stores that every index of it stores like what is the length of the longest valid string that is forming ending at till this point. For example, it's a zero index. It doesn't matter that whether you have opening or closing in bracket, right? You can either have opening bracket or you can either have closing bracket. In both the cases, the answer for this is 0 because yeah, one length is not a valid string. But this like if you have one if one if like these two opening and closing, so then the answer for second index would be 2. And then for example, if you have something like this, right? Yeah, then the answer for this would be 0 and 0 and this would be just 1, right? And this would be just 2. Sorry guys, is this would be 2 and this would be 4. Now how you are calculating this? Let's see. L of I, first, know s of I should be equal to closing parenthesis. Then we'll say that okay, something is ending over here, and I minus 1 minus L of I minus 1 must be greater than equal to 0, and s of the same thing, I minus 1 minus L of I minus 1 is equal to it should be opening parenthesis. Now, what is this I minus 1 minus L minus 1? This is basically if you are standing at here, you are asking that what is, Li minus 1, this is 0. And I minus 1 is 2. So 2 minus 0 is 2. So that 2 should be, greater than 0, obviously greater than or equal to 0. Thus, index should be a valid index. And this index must have, opening bracket. Then these two things will form a pair, and this will give you L of I is equal to something like 2 plus something. L of I minus 1, 2 is why, just because of these two, right? L of I minus 1 like is 0 in this case, but also you need to add something. What is that something? This is basically these two index will form a pair and give you L equal to 2 and a valid pair. And this, there might be some valid string at this point, right? For example, if this is like this, then there is a valid string of length 2, so this 2 and 2 will combine to make a valid string of length 4. So that's what you need to do. You need to see before this index, before this starting index, if the starting index is I minus 1 minus this, then what is the just before this minus 1, right? So I minus not 1 minus 2, L of I minus 1, which में ऐड कर देंगे like L of this part. And but this is not always possible that key, I should be greater than equal to 2, then only we can do that. So if I is greater than 2, not only I, but I, this whole thing, I minus 2 minus L of I minus 1, right, must be greater than equal to 0, then we'll do this. Otherwise we'll just say it's 0. And let's just keep it into this. Yeah, so in this case, what is the answer? For 0, it's 0. For 1, it will be 2. How it will be 2? देखो कि this first of all is a closing, ठीक है? And then I'll see I minus 1. This is 0, so I minus 1 is just 0. So is this greater than 0? Yeah, equal to 0. But yeah, and this should contain, 0th index must have this, opening. Yes, it has opening. So L is equal to L of I is equal to 2 plus L of I minus 1 is 0. And इससे पहले अगर हम जाएंगे तो it's not possible to go 1 minus 2 is minus 1, so that's why we just keep 0. And then 2 पे हम जाएंगे नहीं, 3 पे हम देखेंगे because that's a closing parenthesis. And then we'll see that I minus 1, this is like I minus 1 is 2, 2 minus 0 is again like just 2. So 2 should contain, your opening. Yes, is containing opening. So L of I is equal to 2 for this pair, and then plus L of I minus 1. In this case, L of I minus 1 is 0. In some cases it would be greater than 0, but in this case this part is giving us length 2, because L of I minus 2 minus 0, so L of I minus 2 is just 1, so that's 2. But in this case, for example, let's talk about this case, right? When you have something like this, now you are at closing index comes at this point. You'll say okay, and then you'll say that okay, I minus L I minus 1 ये यहाँ पे 0 है, तो यहाँ पे ओपनिंग है, तो इसका आंसर 2 कर देंगे हम, ठीक है? Now the thing is, they basically कि जब हम इस पे जाएंगे, this is again a closing bracket, we will ask it like I minus 1. What is I minus 1? That's 2 minus 2 is equal to, what, it's like 3 minus 3. This I is equal to 3. 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. 2 minus this, 2 is equal to 0. That's opening, yeah. So opening gets with this opening, so this will form, this part, this closing, and this opening will give you 2, this 2. And then I minus 1 you have to take, because in between there is a valid string, so it's just covering up this, right? And then in this case it is 0, because 0 से पहले there is nothing, so index की वजह से out of bound हो जाएगा और ये 0 दे देगा. Yeah, so that's about it. And over here we keep m is equal to 0, and n is equal to this dot size, and then at every point I just make max equal to m is equal to max of L of I, and then we can just return m. Yeah, so that's about it. Okay, let's just sum this up. Yeah, so that's about it. 100% time complexity, but yeah, this is basically a DP approach, 1D DP, O n time. So yeah, very good for this question. Okay guys, bye.